Thousand Oaks, California. This is Nico. Nico, hi. Nice to have you. I'm glad you waited.
Hello, Rush. It's an honor to speak to you, sir.
Thank you.
I'd like to make 2 points, Rush, if I may.
Yes.
The first point is, I firmly believe that you single-handedly steered this country away from its second civil war. And the reason I'm saying that is liberals are imposing a foreign culture onto this nation. But normally people resist foreign change and foreign elements in their society through the ballot box and the courts. But if the ballot box and the courts have been usurped, how will the people bring about change without violence and bloodshed? I believe for 20 years, Rush, you have been fighting to bring this flood of foreign culture to a halt. And this last couple of weeks, it was evident with the Congress failures and the Harry Reid letter that you not only stopped that flood, you are really pushing this back. So you made it possible that change in this country will still be possible without violence. And the liberals have pursued up to now dividing the nation, dumbing down our children, taxing the people into poverty, and putting folks in bondage, which they claim to help. And all these are foreign concepts to the character of this nation. And then I'd like to bring up the second point.
You may, but I first want to thank you for that. I don't know about stopping a civil war, but you're really insightful here on a number of things, particularly how, and this is a warning that we have blasted from the EIB network studios for years, and that is the left's attempt to take over the courts and the judiciary with liberal activists so that the Constitution can be effectively rewritten, legal decision by legal decision by legal decision.
But what I found most interesting and a foresight that I couldn't have believed you would have had when I started listening to you in the early 90s is that when you beat this drum, Rush, is that these people are out to get us, and they are in the minority, but they usurp the media, so they sound like the majority. So they set up the dynamics of a common foe on the one hand and being a savior on the other hand. And I believe that is why they're challenging Bush, even though he's not on the ticket. It's that they just want to instill in the people's mind, the majority, the silent majority, I may add, that there is a common foe out there, and without them being the savior, we will be all doomed. But in the meantime, the foe is our friend, and the friend or the savior is our foe. And they managed through the drive-by media to instill that into the minds of the people.
Yeah, it's exactly right. They have created the notion, the image of massive, massive problems. We have calamities and disaster and catastrophes staring in the face, head us down the road. They, the people painting this picture falsely, then present themselves as the only people who can save us from it. And how? By taking a little more of our freedom each and every day, a little more of our money each and every day, a little more of the power that we have and live our lives our way, and do it under the guise we all need to be saved. That's a blueprint for the global warming hoax, Nico.
Absolutely, sir. And I used an analogy this weekend where what destroys a body if you die is it's the one of the elements is removed, the soul is removed from that body, and then the body is inevitably being destroyed. The same thing happens with a house. You take a house pieces apart and all the structures away, and by the time you have a heap of rubble, you've destroyed the house. And they do the same thing by taking piece by piece of our social structures and fibers away, so that in the end they sit with a heap of rubble, and then we have become nothing more than a bunch of subjects to a monarchy. And I believe that they won't call it a monarchy, but they want absolute power.
Oh, absolutely. And it's what animates. It's what they're obsessed with.
Absolutely, and there's no two ways about that. Raj, may I make my second point?
Yes.
You know, I would have thought that when Harry Reid's letter came out that you would go up there and slap this guy on the upside of his head, proverbially speaking, of course. But your public relations crew was just a brilliant, brilliant move. And the way that you had acquired $4 million, or now my tongue is twisting, I'm sorry, but that they could raise $4 million for the men and women in uniform. And I thought each and every one of us in this country who enjoys this American dream should be making some form of expression of gratitude. And I want to donate 10% of my sales of a new company that we started to MCLEF. And when it stretches right up to the end of the year through the Christmas, and you notice I'm not scared to say it's a Christmas holiday season. And we worked out the number, sir, that we will gladly give that 20% away to keep us free and for the people.
Well, that's very sweet. That's very thoughtful. I just hope you got a big server farm out there, Nico. Because when we give on these rare occasions where we websites out, they sometimes crash for a while. So if that happens to yours, be patient; it'll be back. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.